I think we might see Butta in probably about 5 years from now.
Damn.
Yeah, I think.
You know what I'm saying? Once I heard immunity for everything that was going on my behalf, gang, on to the grave, and I know.
It's looking bad for FBG Butta. The Chicago drill rapper is currently facing up to 30 years in prison, and things are only getting worse. From betrayals by his closest friends to a near-death experience in jail, Butta's downfall is playing out for the world to see. But how did he get here? And why does it feel like everyone is turning their back on him?
You think if I gotta get out of jail free card, I'm talking to speak on the dead, I ain't gonna do it? You a stupid you don't do it.
In September 2024, FBG Buttah's life changed in an instant. What started as a regular day turned into a full-blown police chase, leading to his arrest and a mountain of legal trouble that might keep him behind bars for the next 30 years. It all went down in DuPage County, Illinois, an area known for being tough on crime. Police were on high alert when they spotted a car speeding recklessly, refusing to stop for law enforcement. Buttah, who was inside the vehicle, tried to get away, but it didn't take long before the chase ended with him in cuffs. When the officers finally caught up with the car, they searched the vehicle and found multiple firearms. That discovery alone put Butta in serious danger legally, as he already had a record and wasn't supposed to be anywhere near guns. Illinois has strict gun laws, and if you're caught with weapons while having a criminal past, the penalties are harsh. Right now, Butta is facing a sentence that could be anywhere between 6 years and 30 years behind bars.
I think we might see Butta in probably about 5 years from now.
Damn.
Yeah, I think.
If you look at the numbers, 30 years is basically a life sentence in the streets. Even at the low end of 6 years, that's still a long time to be locked up, especially when you've been in the drill scene where things change fast. The fact that Butta was caught with multiple firearms makes things even worse. The courts see it as a major offense, especially when paired with the high-speed chase. When you run from the cops, the legal system views it as an admission of guilt, even if you weren't guilty of anything else. To them, running means you had something to hide. And in Buddha's case, he did. FBG Butta has managed to beat several cases in the past, but this time, he might not be so lucky. If he takes his latest charges to trial and loses, he could be facing a long sentence behind bars. The situation became even worse after a video surfaced of him crying in the police station, which quickly turned him into a target, not just for his ops, but for some of his own homies. What's crazy is that this isn't even the first time he's been caught breaking down in front of the cops. Back in 2023, Butta was arrested right in front of his kids, and he completely lost it. The footage shows him desperately asking the officers why he was being taken in, but the cops wouldn't give him a straight answer.
Yeah, my daughter and my money.
We're just talking.
What am I going to jail for?
The only response he got was that he wasn't allowed to stay at the house he was at, but they wouldn't tell him why. His frustration turned into tears as he pleaded to stay and talk to his daughter and son, but the officers didn't care. For someone who has been in the trenches his whole life, Butta's reaction didn't surprise many people, but the way his own circle responded was brutal. His ops immediately started clowning him online, but the real betrayal came when his homie J-Mane also posted the video, adding to the disrespect. FBG Butta and J-Mane used to be tight. They had been rocking together for years and even started a peace movement in Chicago, trying to calm things down in the city. A lot of people clowned them for it, calling them goofies, but they didn't care. J-Mane even linked up with some of their ops from 600 to show he was serious about pushing peace. That's why when J-Mane posted that video of Butta crying, a lot of people were shocked. It seemed like a betrayal. Butta wasn't about to let it slide. He went on DJU TV and fired back, accusing J-Mane of being strung out on coke and burning bridges with his homies. Butta basically said J-Mane was too coked out to even realize what he was doing. He claimed J-Mane needed to slow down with the Adderall and coke because he was ruining real friendships.
J-Mane, you so coked out your mind that you ain't even paying attention and you burning real bridges.
J-Mane responded with his own video saying people didn't really know Butta or the situation. He suggested that Butta wasn't just crying because he was going through it. He knew the cameras were on him, and he played it up because he knew it would go viral. J-Mane pointed out that Butta had been locked up plenty of times before, and every time he got out, he found a way to go viral. According to Jermaine, Butta knew what he was doing in that moment. He was putting on a show for attention. Butta has been trying to leave the streets behind and focus on making money through YouTube and interviews. During the FBG Duck trial, he even testified that he made almost 100K in his first year on YouTube. Jermaine made it seem like Butta's crying video was just another attempt at going viral, just like all the other crazy stunts he's pulled in the past. One of the wildest moments between them happened back in November 2023, when Jermaine had Butta on his YouTube channel and started calling him a snitch. To make it even worse, Jermaine pulled out a big block of cheese during the interview, basically calling Butta a rat to his face. Butta didn't take it lightly. He pulled out a gun and cocked it right there on camera.
It's a lot.
Come on, Jermaine,
Bro.
folks. Come on, G. Come on, folks. Now that's too far.
Social media went crazy, calling Butta out for pulling a strap on his own homie. But later, Butta told Cam Capone News it was all a joke. He claimed it was just a skit and that the gun wasn't even loaded. Now, people are wondering if this whole situation is gonna make them fall out for good. Jermaine has already lost a lot of support from his old crew because he started pushing peace and stopped repping FYB. On top of that, there were rumors that FYB members were mad at him for making money off YouTube and not kicking back enough to the squad. Jermaine fully left the streets behind. He even started his own cereal brand called Whoops. Things got even crazier when Lil Durk name dropped him in a song saying, "Tell Jermaine to send me some whoops."
Tell Jermaine to send me some whoops.
That line made it sound like Jermaine and Durk were cool now, which made his old crew look at him sideways. Some FYB members started calling Jermaine OTF, basically saying he switched sides. They told him to pull up, but Jermaine refused, saying he wasn't about to stand around people acting funny with him. Butta had Jermaine's back through all of that. He made it clear that nobody was gonna play with Jermaine's name. But after this latest situation, it looks like even Butta is starting to fall back. And if Butta loses Jermaine, things are gonna get even worse for him. Butta has been trying to build up his own YouTube career, but he's struggling. He only has about 60K subscribers, and a lot of his videos barely get 10K views. Meanwhile, Jermaine has over 300K subscribers, way more motion, and is still getting attention, even if some of his old homies aren't rocking with him anymore. Jermaine has the cereal brand, he's getting shoutouts from Lil Durk, and overall, he's moving on to bigger things. If Butta and Jermaine are really done with each other, it's just another L for Butta. Without Jermaine, his name might start fading even faster. In any case, FBG Butta has had issues with old friends before. Back in the day, he was tight with Lil J and FBG Duck, all part of the STL EBT crew. Lil J originally grew up around Black disciples, but later switched sides and started rolling with the GDs. Butta, on the other hand, claims he was a GD since he was just 5 years old. His father was a GD too, but he was shot and offed when Butta was still a kid. Growing up in that environment, Butta got involved in the streets early and was first shot when he was only 9. At one point, Butta, Ducker, and Lil J were all solid, but then things got messy. Duck allegedly kicked Lil J out of the crew for stealing. Butta stayed loyal to Lil J though, and the two of them started their own movement called We the Opps. Not long after forming the group, Butta and Lil J got caught up in a case that changed everything. It started when they linked up with a guy named Trub, who wasn't from their area. The three of them, Lil J, Butta, and Trub, went to buy some weed from a dude named Jada Kid. But something went wrong, and they got into a fight with him before leaving. Instead of letting it go, they decided to go get some guns and spin back on Jada Kid. What happened next isn't completely clear, but shots started flying, and both Trub and Jada Kid got hit. Jada Kid survived and wasn't charged because it was ruled as self-defense, but Trub was off. That left Butta and Lil J facing murder charges. Things got even worse when a rumor spread that Butta snitched on Lil J to save himself. Lil J leaked photos that supposedly showed Butta signing paperwork, and that's when he started calling him Italian Beef and Pepsi. That nickname came from claims that the cops gave Butta a meal while he was allegedly giving a statement against Lil J. Butta denied being a snitch, but Lil J wasn't buying it. He even said in an interview,
I was finna beat his ass on bro, he told the police on me. I got that paperwork too.
Lil J also claimed that Butta snitched on his mom, leading to her getting a 3-year sentence for intimidating a witness. After Lil J got out of jail, he dropped a song called First Day Clout, where he rapped, "They said I flipped," how that sound? Shorty snitched and moved out of town. Here go that black and white, gave statements and plea agreements. That effing N told I had to fight for my life. He put the case on my mama on Duck. I wouldn't lie.
This my first day out. I'm clout lord, so this my first day clout. Where all them groovy.
But Lil J wasn't the only one who called out Butta for allegedly snitching. Even Lil Durk took shots at him in an unreleased track. Rapping, walking around with a drac like it's in your name, you uns ain't hurting none. Italian beef with a Pepsi with it, I think them ends gon' butter some.
Sneaky like a fox since broski dad, some hate the.
This was a clear reference to the Italian beef and Pepsi nickname that Lil J gave Butta after claiming he snitched. Butta ended up serving only 4.5 years for the case, while Lil J got hit with 9 years for the same situation. That alone made a lot of people suspicious. They figured the only reason Butta got out sooner was because he cut a deal with the cops. But Butta denied snitching and said the only reason Lil J got more time was because he was already facing another gun charge. According to Butta, Lil J was on probation for a gun case when they caught the charge. Cops had raided Lil J's crib after New Year's and found 5 guns. Apparently, he had been shooting from the back porch to celebrate, but 2 days later, police ran up on him while he was still in the hospital. Since Lil J got booked for the weapons, Butta says he left the city and stayed in the suburbs for a while. He claims that after the raid, nobody in their crew had any guns left. Anyway, right now Butta is sitting in a jail cell, knowing that his future is uncertain. But even though his legal issues are bad enough, it's what happened before his arrest that's making things even worse for him. See, before this whole arrest happened, Butta was called to testify in a major 2016 trial involving Lamron 300 and THF O Block. And what he said left a lot of people furious. FBG Buttah's testimony in court didn't do him any favors. It actually made things worse for him. The way he answered questions had people questioning his loyalty, his street credibility, and even his ability to hold it together under pressure. At one point, the prosecutor asked Butta if people considered him a GD, gangster disciple. Instead of giving a straight answer, he immediately said no, they didn't, and then started rambling about Lil J, throwing shade at him for no reason. His response was messy and all over the place, making it seem like he was either nervous or didn't know how to handle the question. Then, when the questioning continued, Butta admitted that back in 2020, he did consider himself a GD. This was a complete contradiction to what he had just said. If he was a GD in 2020, why did he just claim that people didn't see him as one? The whole situation made him look shaky. And then came another strange moment. The prosecutor asked if he was ever worried about rival gangs. Instead of giving a clear yes or no, Butta responded, "Hell no, I ain't gonna lie, I was frost." Now, for those who don't know, frost is slang that can mean being high, confused, or just out of it. So what was Butta really saying? Was he trying to act fearless and claim he never worried about ops? Or was he admitting that he was out of his mind during that time? Either way, the answer didn't help him. It just made things even more unclear. The way he handled himself in court made him look unprepared and reckless. In the streets, perception is everything. If you slip up and say too much, people will call you a snitch. If you hesitate and fumble your answers, people think you're lean or trying to hide something. Butta's testimony did both. He contradicted himself and made comments that could be seen as incriminating. This court appearance added fuel to the fire that was already burning around him. People on social media dragged him, questioning his credibility. His own circle started backing away. It was like his words turned into a weapon against him, both in the courtroom and in the streets. Let's be real, snitching is a death sentence in the streets. And Butta, he might have just sealed his fate. You see, FBG Buttah's time behind bars hasn't just been about fighting his case. He's been fighting for his life too. Jail is already a dangerous place, but for someone like Butta, who's got a long list of enemies and a reputation that follows him, it's even worse. One of the most chilling moments came when someone actually tried to attack him inside jail. This wasn't just a random scuffle or a typical fight. Someone went after him with a blade. And even though he made it out of that situation alive, they still managed to slice off one of his dreads. For someone deeply tied to Chicago street politics, losing a dreadlock like that in a fight isn't just about hair, it's a sign. In prison culture and gang life, having your hair cut off by an OPP is a form of disrespect and humiliation. It's like a warning, a way of saying, you're not safe here. We can touch you anytime we want. The fact that Butta got targeted like this means one thing. He's got serious enemies inside. And considering everything that's happened before his arrest, it's no surprise. All of this makes him a walking target in jail. The people locked up with him aren't just random criminals. Some of them are directly connected to the streets, and a lot of them know exactly who Butta is. In a place where there are no guns, no outside help, and no way to escape, even the smallest grudge can turn deadly. What makes this even scarier is the paranoia that Butta has been showing in jail. There's footage of him looking around nervously, clearly on edge. And can you blame him? He just had a near-death experience. Someone already tried to take him out once. Who's to say they won't try again? If he doesn't get out soon, things could end badly for him. Jail isn't like the streets where you can run, hide, or retaliate however you want. In there, you're trapped with the same people every day. There's no avoiding enemies, no skipping out on problems. If someone wants you gone, they'll wait for their moment. And for Butta, that moment might come sooner rather than later. The fact that they already tried once means they'll probably try again. And the next time, it might not just be a dread getting cut, it could be his life. The clock is ticking for FBG Butta, with his past catching up to him and enemies inside and outside of jail. The question isn't just how long he'll be locked up, it's whether he'll even survive his sentence. Anyway, that's it for this video, folks. Bye.